But again, being aware of the bodies on the property and that they're dead versus he actually is the one who killed them. And that's what they're trying to prove here. It's not just conspiracy on this. That's where I'm wondering, are they going to be able to tie that to him, or is it going to be more of a conspiracy look where, yeah, he was part of this, but just like Lori wasn't physically there to kill the children, likely, but she was, probably ordering it or part of it, or all, they're all together in on this. Are we going to be seeing more of that type of a connection here?
I think the conspiracy is going to be a slam dunk.
Yeah,
I think his hands on Tylee and JJ, it's going to be a much tougher case from what we've seen.
yeah.
From what we've seen, because in of course Lori's trial, yes, there was a lot that came in on Chad, but the whole direction was at Lori. I also think it's very interesting because they've decided to, of course, wage the death penalty in this case. I find it so interesting that because Lori Vallow didn't get the death penalty, there's nothing to bargain with.
Hmm.
She would be the perfect one to take that stand, to tie it all together, to tell us all exactly what everyone did. And I bet you if they would have gotten that death penalty on her in Idaho, that's what we would have seen. But because that didn't happen, we just don't have that person. And we'll see if the jury's going to be able to have enough evidence to tie him beyond the conspiracy.
How do you think John Pryor is doing in representing Chad thus far? It's just him. You got to understand that there's no second chair. I know the judge offered money for a second chair, but couldn't find anybody or anybody that was qualified to do this in Idaho. I know there's only so many death penalty qualified attorneys that are there, but I know he's trying his best. It seems. But what's been your opinion?
It's hard when you don't have the facts on your side
Yeah.
and you're just trying to, try to distract. I think he's doing the best he can do. Uh, but I do believe there is no way this case does not lose on appeal if he is convicted.
Mhm.
He doesn't have a second chair. He doesn't have the proper help he needs in a death penalty case. I think that's going to be a huge problem.
Then the question would be, if we get another trial here, we got to find somebody who's going to represent Chad Daybell. Likely, then that will be a whole other circus. It'll probably take years to get there to see a second round of this.
Yeah, that will be a federal, or I mean, I'm sorry, a public defender,
Hmm.
and that's what I think will end up happening down the road, because I think it was a real grave error not to allow him off the case or not to insist he have co-counsel.
Hmm.
I mean, these judges should know what they're doing. So I'm not trying to second guess the decisions of this judge. I'm just saying the decisions of the judge don't match up with what you can clearly read in the law regarding death penalty qualified attorneys, two of them being there in such a trial.
And I know, I mean, it was his choice to hire John Pryor, Chad Daybell's choice, but obviously not death penalty qualified to do this. Why? Why did I'm just trying to understand why we went down this road so far with, and then John Pryor saying he wants off the case a couple months ago, judge saying nope, you went this far, you're on it. Yeah, it seems like it's just being set up for an appeal that would be granted in a very obvious way. I mean, why did we do this? Why not go into this thing with all of the T's crossed and the I's dotted?
Well, I do wonder, Tony, if when you look at other people, as an example, Ted Bundy, certainly not death penalty qualified, not qualified in any way,
Hmm.
shape, or form other than, law degree to represent himself, right? In so many cases, that's just one that comes to mind. But people have been allowed to
Hmm.
represent themselves in trial on very serious cases with murder charges pending. And so perhaps the judge feels, and perhaps there is, some sort of precedent for the
Hmm.
person charged being able to choose their attorney, overriding the normal laws that require certain lawyers representing in death penalty cases. That's the only thing
Yeah.
I can think of, Tony.
Yeah. I mean, it almost, yeah, I mean, it's kind of, you're stacking the cards in a certain way of, well, we're probably going to lose this, so might as well go forward with it and we'll get another shot at it. Do you think we're going to see Chad take the stand at some point?
I think if it continues to go the way it has, yes. Because again, we really haven't seen that smoking gun
Hmm.
in terms of him directly murdering uh, Tylee or JJ.
Hmm.
But I think they're making a good case for the suffocation of Tammy. But
Yeah.
again, you have the prior decision that was made. So, when you're at the end, and if you feel like you're going to get a second bite at the apple, if you think that you've paved the way for an appeal,
Hmm.
you probably should take the stand to see how that goes.
Yeah.
And on the second bite, could not. And again, we're just making a reasonable assessment that this could be won on appeal. Maybe it won't. Maybe he won't be convicted. But I think with what we know, I think he'll be convicted at least of the conspiracy. And I think it'll be an issue on appeal, how everything was handled.
Hey, thanks for checking out the video. Be sure to follow us wherever you download podcasts, and especially Apple Podcasts, where you can get advanced episode and premium content on our premium channel right there. Also, be sure to follow us on social media so you don't miss any breaking updates on the stories that matter to you most. We're on TikTok, X, Instagram, Facebook. Just search Hidden Killers Podcast with Tony Brueski, and you'll find us right there. Again, thanks for watching.